Good morning. I'm very pleased to see so many of you out here today on such a cold and blustery morning. You know, I'm from Minnesota, and so this feels like home. This feels like home. Well, thank you again for coming here and being with us here today on the Strand Theater stage for a history-making announcement for our organization. My name is Todd Fogdahl. I am the president and CEO here at the Strand Capital Performing Arts Center. We have many close friends and longtime supporters with us today. We have past board members, we have past board chairs, we have committee members, we have faithful donors, we have many community leaders. I'd just like to call out the elected leaders, elected officials who are with us today. We have Mayor Kim Bracey with us. From the county commissioners, we have Chris Riley, Doug Hoke, and Susan Burns. We have State Representative Kristen Hill with us, and we have City Council Member Judy Ritter-Dixon. Is there anyone that I missed? Well, and Kevin Schreiber. He's trying to milk this as long as he can. Well, thank you all again for being here. As we'll share in a moment, the location for this announcement is significant, and it's not by chance. The Strand Theater was built in 1925 by Nathan Appell and Louis Appell Sr., the grandfather and father of the late Louis Appell Jr. The Strand was lauded at the time as being, quote, the finest theater ever built anywhere in Pennsylvania, unquote. I believe that is still true today. Even more significantly, though, the Strand Theater was built as a community gathering place. As we were going back through some of the history, back through some of the old newspaper articles and newspaper advertisements, we came across an ad for the grand opening of the Strand Theater that talked about the Strand as being a venue for the people of York County to, quote, go to have a good time together, enjoying good entertainment. That is the same vision that continues to guide the Strand Capital Performing Arts Center today. Here to make our exciting announcement is the Strand Capital's board chair, Eric Menzer. Eric has been a member of the Strand Capital's board of directors since 2012, and he was recently named board chair in July of 2016. Eric.
I'm also the person who gets to take credit for chairing the search committee that was wise enough to bring Todd Fogdahl to York. So thank you, Todd, for everything you've done to us, for us. Well, that too. Everything you've done for us to this point. We do stand here today with a very, very bright future. Thank all of you for coming today. I think everyone here will agree that the Strand Capital is an icon in downtown York and one of our most beloved and valued cultural assets. On this stage where today you sit, perform world-class musicians, musicals, dancers, and comedians, along with the stellar community groups who share their art here, drawing audiences from throughout York County and well beyond. Educationally, our Stage the Page program welcomes 10,000 young students and teachers every year to see live professional performance right on this stage. Of course, we also operate the Performing Arts program at William Penn Senior High School, a high school playwriting festival, in-school residencies, and summer camps. Our new strategic plan includes expanded offerings in the Capitol, with film and comedy accompanying the Cap Live music series. Our goal is to have the Capitol in action 200 nights annually within 3 years. No pressure. And our impact, of course, is not just within these walls. Ask any restaurant downtown, and they'll tell you the impact and the importance the Strand has to their business. Ask any HR director about recruiting talented prospective employees to York, and they will verify that fact. That impact, the impact this organization has had and will continue to have on this community, is all thanks to generations of generous supporters. To all of you, many here today, we say thank you. Of course, there's one family in particular who stands out because of their legacy of commitment to the performing arts in York, and that, of course, is the Appell family. Spanning 3 generations, the Appell's family history with this organization runs deep. A year after opening this Strand Theater in 1925, Nathan and Louis Appell Sr. purchased and renovated what we know today as the Capitol Theater. At each milestone throughout the Strand Capitol's history, the Appell family had a clear vision for the future and made that vision a reality by rallying the community together. Louis Appell Jr. chaired the 1970s effort to save and renovate the 2 theaters. Many people today do not realize how close this gorgeous complex was to becoming a parking lot. It's staggering as we sit here today to think about that and to imagine that people could contemplate such a thing. But at the time, it took more vision than many of us have even today to picture this outcome 35 years later. Louis was then the first board chair when the Strand Capitol Performing Arts Center opened in 1980. Through the years, Louis and his wife Jody were a driving force behind the financial sustainability of this organization, including significant philanthropic support to several capital campaigns. In recent years, Louis championed and funded the creation of Cap Live, a concert series designed to bring new and younger audiences to the organization. Jody, I don't know if you remember, but the night of the first Cap Live concert, Louis and Jody were there in the back row. And it was, suffice it to say, loud, and probably not their taste in music. I was there that first night, and on the way out, I said, "So what did you think?" And there was a long pause, and Louis said, "Well, it's great to see new people in the building." And of course, Louis and Jody were here in this building night after night after night as patrons, up there in their seats in the balcony. Not only enjoying the performance, but enjoying the idea that Yorkers had that special place in their community to gather and enjoy each other right here in downtown York. It's not the slightest overstatement to say that the Appell family has been the heart and the soul of this organization for over 90 years. Following Louis' death last June, the Strand Capitol Board began an almost 6-month discussion of how to appropriately recognize all that he and his family have meant to this organization. We concluded that there was only one honor worthy of his and their contribution. That's why I'm so pleased to say that to honor Louis and the Appell family's leadership, the Strand Capitol Performing Arts Center is excited to announce today that starting this spring, the organization will be renamed as the Appell Center for the Performing Arts. This new name will house our nonprofit organization and our facilities. Audiences will continue to visit the Strand Theater and the Capitol Theater and the studio for performances, films, and classes. The legacy of these theaters and the memories they create will continue to grow long into the future within the Appell Center for the Performing Arts. This landmark will now represent the vision and the commitment of a family who inspired us. When we approached Jody and her family with the renaming concept, the response was enthusiastic. They reminisced with stories that reflected on how the Strand and Capitol Theaters meant so much to Louis and the generations before him. As we shared the news with longtime supporters, they had their own stories about the small nudges, the humble suggestions, and the gracious and generous manner in which Louis made sure the Strand Capitol remained vibrant and successful. They said that nothing made Louis happier than to see the full house on the night of the show. This place felt like home to him, and he wanted everyone in the community to feel that way about it too. Under its new name, the Appell Center for the Performing Arts will continue to be the cultural center of our community, just as Louis had planned. Our leadership team will be integrating the new name and the brand to coincide with the 2017-18 season release this spring, allowing us time to ensure the new name is adopted throughout our communications. May 2017 has been set as the official launch date, with a community celebration of the renaming being planned. In closing and speaking personally, Louis was really, I know to a lot of you as well, Louis was an inspiration to me and to many of us. His example in word and deed is both inspiring and motivating. He believed in the revitalization of what became the Strand Capitol way before it was easy or fashionable to do so. And then he put his money where his mouth is. Chairing the organization that will bear his name and having the privilege of making this announcement is really humbling to me. As the current generation of leaders, we need to live up to his example in sustaining this great cultural center for the York community and making sure that it is worthy of his family name. Thank you all so much for coming today. Todd and I are available for questions either now in this group setting or afterwards. Thank you.
Are there any questions right now? Well, if they're not, before everyone leaves, what we'd love to do is we'd love to get a fantastic photo with Jody here on the stage and have all of you be a part of that. And so what we're going to do is we're all just going to Jody's right over here. If we can all try to sort of group around, move the chairs as you need to chair, the press conference is done, you can tear that up, and let's get a photo with Jody and then we can all move on. Thank you so much.
Good. And again, still don't go anywhere. This will only take about an hour. I'm slow. No, actually not.